Picture yourself at the base of a towering mountain, its peak shrouded in a dense, swirling mist. You can't see the summit, but you feel its pull, a silent call to something greater, something beyond the fog of your own low expectations. That mist isn't just weather, it's the weight of settling, the comfort of mediocrity that clouds your vision and dulls your fire. You've lingered here too long, content with the easy path, the safe choices, the half-lived dreams. But deep down, you know the truth. Your life will change when you change your standards. It starts here, in this moment, with a decision to stop accepting less than your worth. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Are you ready to climb? This is the first step toward piercing the fog and claiming the heights that await you. Let's uncover the cost of staying still, the heavy toll of settling for a life that's smaller than your soul. Imagine a painter named Elena, her studio filled with half-finished canvases, each one a whisper of brilliance she refuses to shout. She's talented, everyone says so. Her strokes could capture storms, her colors could ignite hearts. But Elena plays it safe. She paints landscapes for local shops, generic scenes that sell easily, but leave her empty. Criticism terrifies her. Years ago, a harsh review cut deeper than she expected. So now she hides behind muted tones and predictable lines. Her friends praise her steady work. But at night, when the world is quiet, Elena stares at her easel and feels a void. She dreams of bold abstracts, of galleries buzzing with her name. But fear pins her to the familiar. The fog of low standards wraps tighter around her. She settles for applause that doesn't echo in her soul. One day, she watches a documentary about a painter who risked everything, rejection, poverty, doubt, to create art that reshaped the world. Something cracks inside her. She sees the mountain peak through the mist, her potential towering above the safe valley she's camped in. The lesson burns. Settling isn't safety. It's a slow suffocation. Elena picks up a brush, not for a landscape, but for a piece that scares her, a raw, untamed vision. It's messy, it's imperfect. But for the first time in years, she feels alive. The fog begins to lift. You see, the summit isn't reached by staying still. It's claimed by daring to paint the colors only you can see, even when your hand trembles. Now picture Mark, a man in his 30s, sitting at a desk in a gray cubicle. He's been here for 8 years, crunching numbers in a job he doesn't love. It pays the bills barely. It's stable, barely. But every morning, he wakes with a heaviness he can't name. He watches colleagues take risks, pitch bold ideas, and climb the corporate ladder or even leap to new industries. Mark stays put. Fear of failure glues him to his chair. What if he tries for a promotion and stumbles? What if he switches careers and can't keep up? So, he settles. He tells himself, this is fine, it's enough. But it's not. The fog of mediocrity thickens, obscuring the peak of what he could become, a leader, a creator, a force. One evening, Mark overhears a coworker announce they're leaving to start a business. The risk is enormous, but their eyes burn with purpose. Mark feels a pang, a memory of when he once dreamed of building something of his own. He goes home, stares at his reflection, and sees the weight of settling etched into his face. The mountain looms in his mind, its summit hidden by his own excuses. The lesson strikes like lightning. Staying safe isn't living, it's just existing. The next day, Mark updates his resume. He signs up for a course to learn a skill he's always wanted. It's a small step, but the fog thins. You feel this, don't you? That itch to move, to rise, even when fear screams to stay. The peak awaits, but only if you refuse to settle for the valley. Let's pause and look deeper into this mist that surrounds you. It's not just a barrier, it's a creation of your own making, woven from the threads of good enough and not yet. You've breathed it in for so long that it feels like home. Why do you accept less than you deserve? Why do you let the comfort of mediocrity cradle you when it's really a cage? Low standards are a quiet thief, stealing your potential one unchallenged day at a time. They tell you the mountain isn't worth the climb, that the peak is for others, braver souls, luckier ones. But that's a lie. The summit isn't reserved for a chosen few. It's there for anyone willing to push through the haze. Think of your life as a vast range of peaks, each one a version of who you could be. The fog of settling hides them all, whispering that the climb is too hard, the fall too painful. But pain isn't your enemy, it's your signal. It tells you where you've settled, where you've stopped growing. Every time you've said, "This is fine," when your heart screamed for more, you've thickened that mist. How many dreams have you buried under the weight of someday? How many times have you chosen the easy path over the steep ascent? The truth is, settling doesn't just cost you success, it costs you yourself. You're meant for the heights, not the haze. Feel that pull. It's time to step forward, to cut through the fog with the blade of higher standards. Now, let's strip away the illusion of comfort. Settling feels soft at first, like sinking into a worn-out chair after a long day. But stay there too long, and it becomes a trap. Your muscles atrophy, your spirit dims. Mediocrity is a slow poison, numbing you to your own potential. You tell yourself, "I'm fine where I am." But are you? Look around. Are you surrounded by growth, by fire, by a life that challenges you to rise? Or are you stuck in a loop, repeating the same uninspired days, watching the mountain fade further into the mist? The cost of low standards isn't just a smaller life, it's a stolen one. Consider the weight of regret. Years from now, when you look back, what will sting more? The temporary discomfort of pushing yourself, or the endless ache of knowing you never tried? Settling carves a hollow space inside you, a void where your boldest self should stand. It's not just about missed opportunities, it's about betraying the person you're meant to become. The fog isn't protecting you, it's blinding you. You're stronger than this comfort. You're built for the climb, for the sharp air of the summit, not the stale breath of good enough. What have you sacrificed by staying still? What could you reclaim by refusing to settle now? The mountain waits. Its peak is closer than the fog wants you to believe. So, how do you start? How do you shatter the weight of settling and pierce the mist? It's simpler than you think, but it demands courage. First, look at your life with unflinching honesty. Where have you accepted less than your worth? Is it in your work, your relationships, your own growth? Write it down. Name the areas where you've settled. Seeing it on paper cuts through the fog, makes it real. You can't climb what you refuse to see. Next, take one small, defiant step. If you're like Elena, paint something that scares you, just one piece, one stroke that's purely yours. If you're like Mark, research one new opportunity, send one email, make one call. Action, even small, is a hammer against mediocrity. It chips away at the weight. Finally, commit to discomfort. Growth lives on the steep path, not the flat one. When the urge to settle creeps in, pause. Ask yourself, am I choosing this because it's easy or because it's right? That question is your compass. It points to the peak. You don't need to sprint up the mountain today. Just take the first step, then another. The fog will lift, step by step, revealing the summit you were always meant to reach. Here's another tool to carry with you. Ignite a fire within. Settling smothers your flame, but you can rebuild it. Start by reconnecting with why you want more. What drives you? What vision of yourself keeps you awake at night? Not with dread, but with hunger? Maybe it's creating something the world hasn't seen, or becoming a version of yourself your younger self would admire. Hold that image. Let it burn hot enough to melt the chains of mediocrity. Then guard that fire. Surround yourself with reminders of your potential. Books that inspire. People who challenge you. Even a single quote taped to your mirror. When doubt whispers, stay safe. Let your fire roar back. I'm built for more. And when you falter, because you will, Don't douse the flame. Feed it with one small win. Finish a task you've avoided. Speak up when you'd normally stay silent. Each act of defiance against settling adds fuel. You're not just climbing a mountain, you're forging yourself into something unbreakable. Keep the fire alive. It's your light through the fog, guiding you to the peak where your true life waits. You've felt it, haven't you? The weight of settling, the heavy fog of low expectations that obscures the mountain of your potential. Through Elena's silent canvases and Mark's stagnant desk, you've seen the cost of mediocrity, a life half-lived, a soul half-awake. But you've also glimpsed the truth. The summit is there, waiting for you to claim it. The key lesson is clear. Settling is not survival, it's surrender. You change your life the moment you refuse to accept less than you're capable of. Every step away from good enough thins the mist, revealing the heights you were born to reach. As we move forward, remember that the climb isn't just about reaching the top, it's about who you become along the way. The next stretch of this journey will show you how to raise your standards, how to build a life that matches the fire within. For now, hold this truth close. Look up at that shrouded peak. Feel the pull. You're not meant to linger in the valley. Take that first step today. The fog will part. The summit is yours to claim. Rise above the mist. Your peak is waiting. Picture yourself standing before a roaring forge, the heat searing your skin, the air thick with the scent of molten iron. In your hands, a raw piece of steel, unshaped, untested, full of potential. This is your life, right now, at the edge of transformation. Will you step back from the heat, fearing the burn, or will you thrust that steel into the flames, embracing the fire of decision? Your life will change when you change your standards. And this moment, this crucible of choice, is where it all begins. You've lingered long enough in the comfort of mediocrity, accepting less than you deserve, shrinking from the weight of your own potential, but no more. Today, you stand at the precipice of a new beginning, where fear and doubt clash with the unrelenting call to rise. Feel the heat, hear the hammer. You are the blacksmith of your destiny, and the decision to demand more of yourself is the fire that will forge your strength. Let's step into this inferno together and uncover the power of raising your standards. Imagine yourself as a student, sitting at a scarred wooden desk late at night, surrounded by crumpled papers and half-empty coffee cups. Your grades have been a relentless disappointment, each red mark a stab at your confidence. You failed again, and the weight of it presses down like a stone on your chest. It's easier to give up, to shrug and say, "This is just who I am." Friends beckon with distractions, movies, games, a quick escape from the grind. Doubt slithers in, whispering that you're not smart enough, not disciplined enough, not worthy of success. But deep inside, a flicker of defiance stirs. You pause, you breathe, and in that quiet, pivotal moment, you decide no more. You will not settle for failure. You will raise your standard. You grab a blank notebook and map out a rigorous study schedule. Early mornings, late nights, no excuses. The first week is brutal. Your body resists, craving sleep. Your mind wanders, tempted by old habits. Every fiber of you screams to quit, to return to the soft comfort of mediocrity. But you don't. You push through, fueled by a vision of who you could become. Slowly, the fog lifts. Concepts that once baffled you begin to click. Your grades creep upward. Each small victory is a spark, feeding the fire of your resolve. You're not just studying now, you're forging yourself in the heat of decision, shaping a sharper, stronger version of who you are. The lesson burns bright. When you demand more of yourself, when you refuse to settle, you transform. Like steel in the blacksmith's forge, the heat of your choice tempers your will, making you unbreakable. Now, see yourself as an athlete, standing in the locker room after a crushing defeat. The scoreboard still flashes in your mind, a humiliating reminder of your loss. Sweat stings your eyes, and your muscles ache with the memory of every missed opportunity on the field. Teammates mutter words of consolation, but they can't drown out the inner voice that snarls, "You're not enough." The temptation to walk away is overwhelming, to hang up your gear, to accept this is your limit. But as you stare at your reflection in the mirror, something shifts. A fire ignites in your chest. You decide right there, in that hollow silence, to raise your standard. Defeat will not define you. You will. You commit to training harder and smarter than ever before. Dawn becomes your ally as you run laps while the world sleeps. You analyze every play, every mistake, turning weaknesses into weapons. The gym becomes your forge. Each rep a strike of the hammer, shaping your resolve. Resistance is fierce. Your body protests. Old injuries flare, and doubt creeps in during the quiet hours. But you don't flinch. You don't fold. You stand firm in your decision, knowing that every drop of sweat is tempering your spirit. Months later, you step onto the field again, not just stronger in body, but forged in will. The scoreboard changes. Victory is yours. The lesson sears into your soul. The moment you choose to demand more, to hold yourself to a higher standard, you place your life in the fire of transformation. You emerge not just as an athlete, but as a force. Let's step back and gaze into the heart of this fire. What is it about the moment of decision that holds such power? Why does raising your standards feel both like a burden and a liberation? It's because you stand at the forge of your own becoming, hammer in hand, with the raw material of your life before you. The heat of decision is not gentle. It burns away excuses. It melts down complacency. It forces you to confront the parts of yourself you've hidden from. Fear and doubt are the impurities in your steel, and only the flames of choice can purge them. You don't just decide to study harder or train longer. You decide to redefine who you are. You choose to be the one who endures, who rises, who builds something enduring from the chaos of struggle. Think on this. How many times have you let the fear of heat stop you from stepping to the forge? How often have you chosen the cool shadow of good enough over the searing light of I can be more? The blacksmith does not shape steel with a timid touch. The fire must be fierce. The hammer must strike with purpose. So must your decision be. Raising your standards is not a quiet act. It's a declaration, a rebellion against the smallness you've accepted. It's the moment you say, I will not live half a life. I will not settle for less than I'm capable of. Feel that heat now. Let it course through you. It's not pain, it's power. It's the energy of transformation, waiting for you to wield it. Dive deeper with me into this truth. Your life is not a finished blade. It's a work in progress, raw and rough, waiting for the fire of your will to give it edge and purpose. Raising your standards is not about perfection. It's about progression. It's about recognizing that the discomfort of growth is the very heat that shapes you. Think of a river carving through stone, not with sudden violence, but with relentless persistence. So too must you carve your path, holding yourself to a higher bar even when the current of doubt pushes back. The decision to demand more is your river's force, cutting through the rock of old habits, old fears, old limits. Have you ever considered what you're truly forging in these moments of choice? It's not just better grades or a winning record, it's trust in yourself. Each time you raise your standard, each time you step into the fire despite the burn, you hammer a new layer of belief into your core. You teach yourself that you can endure, that you can overcome, that you are not bound by yesterday's failures. Like the blacksmith who knows a steel's strength only after it's been tested by flame. You discover your own resilience only when you dare to demand more. So stand at this forge, strike the hammer, let the sparks fly. You are crafting not just a life, but a legacy of strength. Now, let's turn this fire into action. When doubt clouds your mind and fear grips your heart, how do you make the decision to raise your standards? First, pause. Don't react to the immediate sting of failure or the pull of comfort. Sit with the moment. Ask yourself, what is the one standard I've let slip that I can reclaim right now? Maybe it's showing up on time, giving your full focus, or refusing to quit when it gets hard. Write it down, make it real. This is your steel, and naming it is the first strike of the hammer. Next, commit to a single, measurable change. If you're like the student, set a non-negotiable study hour each day. No excuses, no distractions. If you're the athlete, add one extra drill to your routine, pushing past the ache. Start small, but start firm. Consistency in this choice is your heat. It builds over time, tempering your will. Finally, guard your decision. Temptation will come, old habits, easy outs, voices saying, it's too hard. Stand your ground. Remind yourself why you chose this path. Speak it aloud if you must. I am forging my strength. I will not settle. These steps are your tools. Wield them daily and watch how the fire of decision reshapes your life. Let's add one more layer to your toolkit. When the weight of raising your standards feels crushing, anchor yourself with a ritual of resolve. Create a moment each morning to stand before a mirror or sit in quiet space. Look into your own eyes or close them and feel your breath. Speak your standard aloud. Today, I will give more than I did yesterday. Today, I will not shrink from the heat. This is not mere affirmation. It's a contract with yourself, a promise forged in the forge of your mind. Then track your progress. Keep a simple journal or checklist. Mark every day you uphold your new standard. Did you stick to your schedule? Did you push through the resistance? Each check mark is a spark, proof of your fire growing. And when you falter, because you will, don't despair. Return to the forge. Ask, what can I learn from this stumble? Adjust, recommit, and strike again. This ritual, this record, is your way of keeping the flame alive. It reminds you that raising your standards isn't a one-time act. It's a daily forging, a lifelong craft. Take these steps. Hold this discipline. You are the blacksmith, and every day is a chance to shape something stronger. As we step away from the forge, let the heat of this moment linger in your bones. You've seen it in the student who refused to settle for failure. In the athlete who turned defeat into fuel, raising your standards is the fire of decision that transforms raw potential into unyielding strength. You felt it in the philosophical depths. This choice is not just about what you do, but who you become. It's the hammer striking doubt, the flame burning away fear, the relentless will to demand more of yourself. And through practical steps, you now hold the tools to wield this power, pausing to choose, committing to action, anchoring with ritual. The takeaway is clear. The moment you decide to raise your standards, despite fear and doubt, you ignite the fire that forges your future. So carry this heat forward. Let it burn through the next challenges, the next uncertainties, as we prepare to explore how sustaining these standards builds not just a moment, but a movement in your life. Remember, you are not done shaping yourself. The forge awaits. Always strike now, strike true, and let nothing dim your flame. Forge your strength. The fire of decision is yours to command. Picture yourself standing on a jagged cliff, the wind howling, the sea raging below. A storm brews on the horizon, its dark clouds swirling with doubt, fear, and opposition. Yet, there you are, a lighthouse, unyielding against the crashing waves. This is the moment when you raise your standards, when you declare that mediocrity will no longer define you. But know this, the world will not applaud your courage. Not yet. Resistance will come, fierce and unrelenting, testing the very foundation of your resolve. Welcome to the storm of resistance, the crucible where your transformation is forged. In the grand journey of changing your life by changing your standards. This is where you prove your worth. You don't just survive the tempest, you stand as a beacon, guiding your own way through the chaos. Are you ready to weather the gale? Because the moment you elevate your standards, the storm begins, and with it, your your greatest battle. Imagine yourself as a young entrepreneur, burning with a vision that others can't yet see. You've spent years in a safe, predictable job, earning just enough to get by, but your soul hungers for more. You've crafted a bold idea, a business that could reshape your future, but it means stepping off the well-trodden path. You raise your standards, refusing to settle for comfort over purpose. You announce your plans at a gathering of peers, expecting encouragement. Instead, skepticism crashes over you like a tidal wave. That's too risky, they say. Why not stick to what works? You're dreaming too big. Their words sting, each one a gust of wind threatening to topple your resolve. Doubt creeps in. What if they're right? What if you fail? Days turn to weeks, and the challenges mount. Investors turn you away. Late nights at your desk yield little progress. Friends drift, whispering that you've lost your way. The storm of resistance rages, and you feel the weight of every wave. But then, you pause. You remember why you started. You're not just chasing a business, you're building a legacy. You stand like a lighthouse, your new standards a piercing beam in the darkness. You choose to keep going, not because it's easy, but because settling is no longer an option. You refine your pitch, seek mentors, and work harder than ever. Slowly, one investor says yes. A client emerges. The storm hasn't passed, but you've learned to stand firm within it. The lesson here is clear. Resistance is not a sign to turn back. It's proof you're moving forward. Like a lighthouse enduring the storm, your elevated standards must hold against the waves of doubt and external pushback. You don't crumble, you don't waver, you shine brighter. Now see yourself as a parent who's decided to break free from old patterns. For years, you've lived by the expectations of others, family traditions, societal norms, a life of quiet sacrifice. But something within you stirs. You want more, not just for yourself, but for your children. You raise your standards, vowing to pursue personal growth, to show your family what courage looks like. You enroll in a course to learn a new skill, or you start setting boundaries to reclaim your time and energy. You're no longer the person who says yes to everything at the cost of your own dreams. But the storm comes swiftly. Family members question your choices. Why are you doing this now? You should focus on the kids. They insist. This isn't how we've always done things. Their criticism feels like icy rain pelting against your resolve. Guilt gnaws at you. Are you being selfish? Are you risking your family's harmony for a fleeting ambition? The resistance is suffocating, each word a wave threatening to drown your newfound strength. Yet, in a quiet moment, you stand tall. You're a lighthouse. Your standards a guiding light not just for you, but for your children who watch your every move. You show them that growth matters, that breaking cycles is worth the fight. You press on. You carve out time for your goals, even if it's just an hour after bedtime. You communicate your why to your family, not with anger, but with conviction. Over time, they begin to see the change, the confidence in your step, the joy in your voice. The storm of resistance eases, not because it's gone, but because you've learned to stand unyielding within it. The takeaway burns bright. Opposition tests your standards, but it also tempers them. Like a lighthouse, you endure, proving that your transformation is non-negotiable. Let's step back and look at the storm with clear eyes. Resistance is not your enemy, it's your sculptor. Every wave of doubt, every gust of criticism is chiseling away the parts of you that no longer serve. When you elevate your standards, you invite the tempest, not because you've chosen wrong, but because you've chosen right. The world clings to the familiar, to the safe harbor of mediocrity. Your decision to rise above is a rebellion, and rebellions are never met with ease. But ask yourself this: would you rather sail on calm, shallow waters, or brave the storm to reach uncharted shores? How many times have you shrunk back at the first sign of pushback, only to wonder what could have been? Think of your standards as a lighthouse, standing resolute on a rocky cliff. The waves of opposition crash against you, doubt from within, skepticism from without. They roar with fury, testing every brick of your resolve. Yet, it's in this very struggle that your foundation grows stronger. Resistance forces you to question, to refine, to recommit. It's not here to break you, it's here to reveal you. The storm strips away excuses, leaving only the raw truth of who you are and what you stand for. So embrace the gale. Let it howl. You are not a fragile vessel tossed by the sea. You are the beacon that guides others through their own darkness. Stand firm, and the storm will become your greatest teacher. There's a deeper truth hidden in the chaos of resistance. The storm is loudest when you're closest to transformation. Think about that. When you raise your standards, the opposition, whether it's external voices or your own inner fears, screams to pull you back. Why? Because change threatens the old order, the comfortable cage you've outgrown. But in the heart of this storm, there is a silence, a still point within you. It's the voice of your resolve, the quiet certainty that whispers, "This is my path." Have you ever listened for it? Or have you let the roar of resistance drown it out? Picture yourself as that lighthouse again, rooted deep into the earth while the tempest rages. The waves may batter your walls, but they cannot touch the core of your light. That light is your elevated standard, your refusal to settle for less than your worth. Resistance will always come when you dare to grow. It's the universe's way of asking, "Are you sure?" Your job is not to silence the storm, but to find the silence within it. That's where your power lives. That's where you remember why you started. So, when the winds howl and the waves surge, close your eyes. Breathe. Anchor yourself in the truth of your vision. The storm of resistance is temporary. Your standards are eternal. When resistance crashes against you, it's easy to falter. The skepticism of others, the weight of self-doubt, they can feel like an unstoppable tide. But you have the power to stand firm. Here's how to weather the waves. First, ground yourself in your why. Write down the reason you've raised your standards. Is it for your future, your family, your legacy? Keep this note close, on your desk, in your wallet, and read it when the storm feels overwhelming. Let it be your anchor, reminding you that this struggle is worth it. Second, anticipate the pushback. Resistance isn't a surprise, it's a certainty. Before you face criticism, prepare your response. If someone questions your path, don't react with defensiveness. Instead, say, "I appreciate your concern, but this is the standard I've set for myself." Practice this in your mind or aloud. When the moment comes, your words will flow with conviction, not hesitation. Finally, seek your lighthouse, those who support your vision. Not everyone will understand your journey, but some will. Find one person, even if it's online, who believes in your growth. Their encouragement will be a beam of light in the storm. Remember, you're not here to please the crowd. You're here to honor your standards. Stand tall. The waves will pass. Resistance often strikes when you least expect it, shaking the very ground beneath you. To endure, you must build an inner fortress, a sanctuary of strength that no storm can breach. Start by creating a daily ritual of reinforcement. Each morning, take 5 minutes to affirm your standards. Look in the mirror and say, "I will not settle. I will not shrink. I am worthy of more." Speak these words with fire in your chest. Let them root you when doubt creeps in. Next, track your progress. No matter how small, resistance loves to whisper that you're failing, that your efforts are futile. Counter this by keeping a journal of your wins, every step forward, every obstacle overcome. Did you push through a tough conversation? Write it down. Did you stick to your plan despite exhaustion? Note it. These records are bricks in your fortress, proof that you're stronger than the storm. Lastly, limit exposure to negativity. If certain voices consistently drag you down, create distance. You don't owe anyone an explanation for protecting your light. Surround yourself with ideas, books, or people that fuel your resolve. Your standards are your shield. Wield them with purpose. The storm of resistance will test you, but your fortress will hold. You've walked through the storm of resistance, felt the waves of doubt and opposition crash against you, and yet here you stand, unbroken, unbowed. This section of your journey within your life will change when you change your standards, has shown you a vital truth. Elevating your standards invites a tempest, but it also forges your strength. Whether you're the entrepreneur defying skepticism or the parent rewriting old patterns, you've learned that resistance is not a wall, it's a whetstone, sharpening your resolve with every strike. The key lesson burns bright. Your new standards are your lighthouse, and they must stand firm against the waves of doubt and external pushback. You don't just endure the storm, you become the light that pierces through it. As we move forward, remember that the storm is only one chapter of your transformation. Greater horizons await, where the lessons of resistance will fuel your next ascent. For now, hold this truth close. Let it be your guide when the winds howl again. You are the lighthouse, unwavering, illuminating your path no matter the chaos. Stand firm. Your light will guide you through any storm. Picture a river, steady and unyielding, slicing through ancient stone. It does not roar with fury or demand attention. It simply flows, day after day, year after year, until the hardest rock yields to its quiet persistence. This is the power of your elevated standards. You are that river, and your life is the stone waiting to be reshaped. In this journey of transformation, where your life will change when you change your standards, we arrive at a crucial truth. Lasting change demands the path of persistence. It's not the grand gestures or fleeting bursts of effort that carve your destiny. It's the daily choice to show up, to hold yourself to a higher bar, even when the world tells you to settle. Feel the weight of that choice now. Are you ready to flow relentlessly, to cut through the obstacles of doubt and distraction? Let's walk this path together and uncover how consistent effort and unshakable discipline become the current that reshapes your world. Imagine yourself as a writer, sitting at a worn desk, the glow of a single lamp casting shadows on crumpled pages. You've dreamed of crafting stories that move hearts, of seeing your name on a bookshelf, but the first words you write feel clumsy, like a child's scrawl. You send your early work to publishers, and the rejections sting like cold rain. Each no, a stone blocking your path. It's easy to stop here, to let the pen fall and whisper, "I'm not good enough." The world doesn't care if you quit. It moves on without a glance. But you don't. You raise your standard. You commit to writing every day, even if it's just a single line, even if no one reads it. Days turn to weeks and weeks to months. Your sentences grow sharper, your stories deeper. The rejections still come, but they don't cut as deep. You've built a callus of persistence, a shield of discipline. One morning, after a year of quiet labor, an email arrives, an acceptance. It's not just a yes to your story, it's a yes to your refusal to settle. Like a river cutting through stone, your daily effort has carved a channel of skill and resilience. The lesson is clear. Elevated standards aren't a destination, they're a practice. You didn't win because you were born a writer. You won because you chose to write, day after relentless day, until the stone of rejection crumbled before you. Now see yourself in another struggle, one just as human, just as real. You've let your health slip. Years of neglect have left your body heavy, your energy drained. Every mirror reflects a version of you that feels foreign. But one day you decide, no more. You raise your standard, not with a loud vow or an impossible goal, but with a small, unshakable promise to yourself. You'll move your body for 10 minutes a day. You'll swap one sugary drink for water. Tiny steps, barely noticeable to anyone else. Yet, in the quiet of your resolve, a river begins to flow. The first weeks are a battle. Your muscles ache, your cravings howl, and doubt creeps in like a shadow. What's the point? It sneers. 10 minutes won't change anything. But you don't listen. You lace up your shoes. You drink the water. You persist. Months pass, and something shifts. The scale shows a number you haven't seen in years. Your breath comes easier. Your steps feel lighter. It's not a dramatic transformation. It's a slow carving, a steady reshaping. Like a river wearing down stone, your daily habits have etched a new path through the mountain of neglect. The takeaway burns bright, higher standards, upheld with relentless consistency. Don't just change your body, they change who you are. You've become someone who doesn't break promises to themselves. And that, more than any number on a scale, is the victory. Let's pause and look deeper. A river doesn't carve stone in a day. It doesn't rage or force its way with violence. It flows, steady and patient, letting time be its ally. So it is with your standards. When you raise the bar for yourself, the world doesn't transform overnight. The bills don't vanish. The doubts don't silence. But each small, consistent act, each choice to show up when you'd rather hide, builds a current stronger than any obstacle. Think about it. How many times have you abandoned a goal because the results didn't come fast enough? How many dreams lie buried under the weight of impatience? Persistence isn't glamorous. It's not a sprint or a shout. It's the quiet drip of effort, day after day, until the stone of impossibility splits open. Your life will change, not when you wish for it, but when you commit to the flow of discipline. You are the river. Keep flowing, and no barrier can stand forever. Consider this. Every grand achievement is built on a foundation of mundane decisions. The novelist whose book you admire, they wrote on days they felt uninspired. The athlete whose strength you envy, they trained when their body begged for rest. Elevated standards aren't forged in moments of glory. They're hammered out in the quiet hours when no one watches, like a river smoothing jagged rock. Your persistence polishes the rough edges of your life. What small choice are you avoiding today? What tiny step feels too insignificant to matter? Know this, every drop of effort adds to the current. Every no to distraction, every yes to discipline, shapes the path ahead. Pain is not your enemy, it's your stone to carve. Fatigue is not your limit, it's your signal to push harder. Hold your standard high, and let persistence be the force that moves you forward. The river doesn't ask if the stone is ready to yield. It simply flows. So how do you become the river? How do you cultivate persistence when every fiber of your being screams for ease? Start here. First, define one non-negotiable standard tied to your goal. If it's health, commit to a 10-minute walk every day. No excuses. If it's a skill, set a timer for 15 minutes of focused practice. Make it small, but make it sacred. Second, anticipate the resistance. Doubt will come, boredom will creep in. When it does, pause, breathe. Remind yourself why you started. Write down one reason to keep going, and let it be your anchor. Third, track your flow. Mark each day you honor your standard on a calendar. Watch the chain grow. Let each X be a drop in your river, a proof of your persistence. Finally, and forgive the stumbles. If you miss a day, don't drown in guilt. Rivers don't stop because of a single storm. They adapt and keep moving. So must you. Build your flow, one choice at a time, and watch how it carves a new life from the stone of your past. Persistence isn't just about action. It's about protection. Your higher standards are aflame, and the winds of distraction will try to snuff them out. Guard them fiercely. Start by identifying your triggers, those moments or people that pull you toward old and lower habits. Is it a late-night scroll on your phone that steals your focus? Is it a friend who mocks your discipline? Name the threat, then build a barrier. Set a time limit on your device. Surround yourself with those who lift your vision, not drag it down. Next, create a ritual to reinforce your standard. Before bed, review your day. Ask, did I honor my commitment? If not, why? If yes, celebrate it silently. Let this reflection be the current that keeps your river strong. Lastly, remember that persistence isn't perfection, it's returning to the path again and again. When you falter, don't abandon your standard. Reclaim it, protect it, flow on. Your life depends on it. As we close this chapter of your journey, let the truth settle deep within you. Persistence is the heartbeat of transformation. By raising your standards and holding fast to them with relentless discipline, you've begun to carve a new path through the stone of your old life. The stories of the writer and the health seeker remind us that change isn't born from sudden heroics, but from quiet, consistent effort. The river doesn't rush, it flows, and so must you. Reflect on the takeaway of this path. Lasting change comes not from fleeting passion, but from the steady current of daily discipline. Your life will change when you change your standards, and it will solidify when you persist in upholding them. As we move forward, prepare to face the storms that test your resolve, knowing that your river, your persistence, has the power to cut through any obstacle. Hold this mantra close. Let it guide you through every challenge. Flow relentlessly. Your path is being carved. Picture this. A fire consumes everything you once were, a blaze so fierce it leaves nothing but ashes in its wake. Yet, from that gray ruin, you emerge, stronger, brighter, a force reborn. This is the essence of transformation, the heart of what happens when you dare to raise your standards. You don't just change, you become. In this moment, as we stand together on the precipice of your greatest evolution, know that your life is no longer bound by the old rules, the old limits, the old you. Welcome to The Rise of Transformation, a chapter in your journey where we celebrate the profound shifts and unyielding growth that come from holding yourself to a higher bar. Your life will change when you change your standards. And now, you're living proof of that truth. Feel the heat of that inner fire. Are you ready to see how far your wings can carry you? Imagine yourself years ago, hunched over a desk in a dimly lit room, drowning in self-doubt. Bills pile up, dreams feel like distant stars, and every day is a grind just to survive. That was you, or someone like you, a soul battered by life's relentless storms. But something shifted. You decided enough was enough. You set a new standard, no more excuses. You started small, waking up an hour earlier to learn a skill, saving a sliver of every paycheck, speaking kinder words to yourself even when you stumbled. It wasn't easy. There were nights you wanted to crumble, days when the mirror reflected a stranger who seemed too weak to continue. Yet, you held firm. You chose discipline over distraction, courage over comfort. Fast forward to today. You stand before a room of eager faces, sharing your story at a local workshop. People hang on your every word, inspired by how you turned struggle into strength. That skill you learned, it became a thriving side business. That savings habit, it gave you freedom to breathe. And those kind words to yourself, they built a confidence that radiates, drawing others to your light. Someone in the crowd asks, "How did you do it?" You smile, knowing the answer. You raised your standards. You burned away the old, fearful self in the fire of commitment, and from those ashes, a new you soared. This isn't just a story of survival. It's a testament to transformation. Like a phoenix, you rose, and now you ignite hope in others. The lesson is clear. Sustained higher standards don't just change your life, they change lives around you. Now, see yourself as a different kind of warrior. Once you stood at the edge of a community group, voice trembling as you shared an idea, terrified of rejection. Leadership? That wasn't for you. Self-doubt was a heavy chain, pulling you back with every step. Who am I to lead? You whispered to yourself, shrinking from the weight of responsibility. But deep inside, a spark flickered. You set a new standard, to act despite fear, to show up even when your knees shook. You started by volunteering for small tasks, speaking up in meetings, and studying how true leaders carried themselves. Each step was a battle, each failure a scar, but you refused to retreat. Years later, you stand at the helm of that same community, now a thriving hub of connection and purpose. Hundreds look to you for guidance, trusting your vision because they've seen your conviction. You've built programs, resolved conflicts, and created a space where others feel safe to grow. That trembling voice, it's now a steady roar, inspiring action. That self-doubt, it's ash, burned away by the fire of your relentless standards. You've become the phoenix of your own story, a leader reborn through the choice to demand more of yourself. The lesson shines bright. When you elevate your standards, you don't just transform yourself. You lift everyone around you. Your rise becomes their wings. Let's pause and look within. What does it mean to truly transform? It's not a gentle shift, a quiet tweak to your routine. No, it's a wildfire, consuming the deadwood of old habits, outdated beliefs, and self-imposed limits. When you change your standards, you invite this blaze into your life. You say, I will no longer settle for mediocrity. I will no longer accept a half-lived existence. And in that declaration, the old you begins to crumble. It's painful, yes, watching familiar comforts turn to dust. But pain is not your enemy. It's the heat that forges you anew. Like a phoenix, your higher standards are the flames that destroy and create in the same breath. Think about it. How many times have you clung to the ashes of who you were, afraid to let go? How often have you rebuilt the same broken structure instead of daring to soar as something greater? Transformation isn't just change, it's a rebirth. It's choosing to stand taller, to demand excellence in your thoughts, actions, and relationships. It's recognizing that every time you raise the bar, you're not just building a better life, you're crafting a better self. You're no longer the person who shrinks from challenges. You're the force that rises through them. So, embrace the fire. Let it burn away doubt, fear, and complacency. From those ashes, your true power emerges, radiant and unstoppable. Now, Marie, let's soar higher. Transformation isn't a one-time event. It's a journey of sustained growth, a commitment to never settle. When you raise your standards, you don't just climb a single peak. You forge a path through an endless range of mountains. Each summit reveals a new horizon, a new challenge, a new version of you waiting to be born. Like a phoenix, your rebirth isn't singular. Every time you hold yourself to a higher code, you shed another layer of the old and spread wider wings. This is the beauty of personal growth. It compounds. One disciplined choice becomes 10, then 100, until your entire life is a testament to what's possible when you refuse to stand still. Ask yourself, what standards have you outgrown, yet still cling to? What small compromises are weighing down your flight? Growth demands courage, the courage to keep burning away what no longer serves you, to keep rising even when the winds of doubt howl around you. Your higher standards are your feathers, each one a choice to live with intention, integrity, and purpose. They carry you above the storms of temporary setbacks, above the fog of others' expectations. So, spread those wings. Trust in the sustained power of your transformation. The sky isn't your limit, it's your home. Transformation sounds grand, but it lives in the small, gritty choices you make every day. Want to celebrate the profound changes that come from higher standards? Start here, right now. First, define one area of your life where you've been settling. Maybe it's your health, your work ethic, or how you treat yourself. Write down the new standard you'll hold yourself to. Be specific. I will walk 30 minutes every day, or I will speak with confidence in every meeting. Next, create a trigger to remind you of this commitment, a note on your mirror, an alarm on your phone. Every time you see it, recommit. Don't just think it, act. When temptation strikes, and it will, pause. Breathe. Ask yourself, does this choice align with the person I'm becoming? If the answer is no, walk away. no matter how hard it feels. Finally, we're done. Track your progress weekly. Note every win, no matter how small. Did you show up when you didn't feel like it? That's a victory. These daily anchors build the fire of your transformation. They turn ash into strength, one choice at a time. You're not just changing your standards, you're living them. Keep going. Your rebirth is in every step. Here's another truth. Transformation doesn't happen in isolation. If you want to sustain higher standards, surround yourself with those who fuel your fire, not douse it. Take a hard look at your circle. Who lifts you up? Who challenges you to be better? Seek out those who embody the standards you aspire to. Join a group, find a mentor, or connect with a community of growth-minded souls. Share your goals with them, not to boast, but to be held accountable. Let their energy ignite your own. At the same time, distance yourself from those who pull you back to old ashes. This isn't about judgment, it's about protecting your rise. If someone constantly tempts you to lower your bar, limit your time with them. Replace that space with inspiration. Read stories of transformation. Listen to voices that push you to soar. Every day, ask, am I surrounding myself with phoenixes or with weights? Your environment shapes your flight. Choose wisely. Build a circle that burns bright with purpose, and together, you'll rise higher than you ever dreamed. As we close this chapter on the rise of transformation, let the truth sink deep into your bones. Your life will change when you change your standards, and the evidence is all around you. You've seen it in the struggler who became a beacon, in the doubtful leader who now guides with conviction. You've felt it in the fire of new beginnings and the wings of sustained growth. The key lesson remains: sustained higher standards are the flames that burn away the old and birth the extraordinary. Every choice to demand more of yourself is a spark. Every day you uphold that choice is a blaze. You are the phoenix, reborn not once, but again and again, with every step toward greatness. Now carry this fire forward. In the next part of our journey, we'll explore how to protect this transformation against the storms of doubt and distraction. Until then, hold tight to your new standards. Let them be your guide, your strength, your rebirth. Rise from the ashes. Your transformation is your power.